Hi friends, how are you all? Hope all of you are going through my videos. Hope all of you are learning with me, and hope all of you are going, through the lessons along with me every day. And hope all of you are doing your journaling also. So today we will move into the next reading session. It's called Kavery and the Thief. The children had gone with their Ajja to the paddy fields that morning. They were all city kids and did not know a thing about farming. On the way, Anand was surprised to see a bird's nest on top of the tree. He said to Ajja, I wonder how birds decide where and how to make their nests. Ajja means grandfather, said, the straw in the nest is from the paddy field. Do you know farming helps human beings as well as birds? Krishna replied, Ajja, I thought wheat and rice can be just plucked from trees like mangoes. But today I realized there is so much work in farming. That afternoon after lunch, when they gathered around Ajji means grandmother, for the day's story, she looked sharply at the children. They had enjoyed learning about farming. I'm just turning the page. Activities like cleaning seeds and separating the straw from paddy. In the city, everything came from the supermarket, but here they had seen how many things were really produced. Ajji said, farming is very important. If farmers do not grow any food, what will we all eat? Anand said thoughtfully, if farmers do such important work, why are they so poor? That's true, my dear, Ajji sighed, fanning herself. Of course, there are rich farmers too, people who own lots of land, but many in our country still small pieces of land and so make less money. Then, seeing the kids' crestfallen faces, she put down her fan, sat up, and said, but I can tell you of a poor farmer woman who did not remain very poor, all due to her sharp wit. Tell Ajji, do tell, the kids yelled. So Ajji started her story. So the story begins. Kaveri's lazy husband annoyed her no end. There she was working like a donkey in the fields, ploughing and watering and tending a hard, dry piece of land, while her husband snored away happily at home. Why, once when a stranger came asking for some food and water, he just pointed towards the kitchen and went back to sleep. The stranger, thankfully, was an honest man and took only enough for himself and his horse. Not that there was much to steal in Kaveri's little house. They were poor farmers with only a patch of land where nothing seemed to grow. Somehow Kaveri tilled the land, did some odd jobs in the neighborhood, and made ends meet. The land was right next to a temple. On some days, her husband would come along with her on the pretext of helping her, but no sooner back her would her back be turned than she would find him stretched out near the temple courtyard gossiping with passing villagers. One day, as she was working in the field trying to dig up the ground so she could sow some seeds, a thin man with a big moustache appeared beside her. He was a thief and up to no good. Kaveri, of course, did not know this. She greeted him politely and went back to her work. Now the thief wanted to steal the coins that were given as offerings in the temple and perhaps even the ornaments on the idol. The only way into the temple was by digging his way in from Kaveri's land. But how could he do anything there with this tough, no nonsense woman working away? I'm turning the page. Guessing Kaveri was hard up for money, he whispered to her sister, why are you working so hard on this barren land? I will give you 1000 rupees, sell it to me. Kaveri raised her eyebrows. Why did he want to buy the land for so much money? Surely something was wrong. The thief sensed she was not about to sell it to him, so he raised his price 1050. No. 2000. No again. 5000. No. Kaveri kept shaking her head. She did not like this odd looking man was offering her so much money for the field. Clearly, he had some evil plans. Finally, to keep him quiet, she made up a story. I will never sell this land, you see. It belonged to my ancestors. Now we are poor, but I am told that once our family was very rich, though we lost A lot of our money, much of it, was also buried here in this field by one ancestor to keep it safe from robbers. Then people forgot about it for years and years. My husband found a clue to the location of the hidden treasure just few days back. Why do you think I'm digging this hard earth? Not to sow seeds. Oh no. That's just what everyone thinks. I'm actually looking for hidden treasure. The thief was stunned. He felt this woman was really innocent, giving such important information to a stranger. He thought, why should I not take advantage of the situation? Here he was hoping to steal a few coins from the temple, and this woman was telling him about hidden treasure. He replied in a very humble way, yes, sister, I understand. After all, it is your family treasure. Only you should get it. He pretended to walk away and went and hid himself a little way down the road. Night fell. Kaveri packed up her tools and headed home. The temple too emptied it out, and the priest locked it up for the night. Then at midnight, when all was quiet and the night creatures were coming out of their homes, the thief crept into the field. All night he dug and dug, looking for treasure, but of course there was no sign of it, as there never had been any treasure to begin with. By the time dawn broke, he realized Kaveri had made a fool of him, and all he could do now was get away from the field fast. When Kaveri reached the field, she grinned to herself. Just as she had expected, the thief had spent the night digging up the land nicely for her. All she needed to do now was sow the seeds. She worked hard in the field for the next few months and managed to. I'm turning the page. So you can see here the thief, he's digging it. I'll continue. To grow a good crop. She sold those and finally they had some money. With part of this money, Kaveri bought some jewelry. Many months later, the thief decided to show his face in the village again. He was careful to disguise himself, though he trimmed his long mustaches, tied a colorful turban, and pretended to be a traveling salesman. No sooner had he stepped into the village that he saw Kaveri going about her work. But what is this? Instead of the simple, unadorned lady he saw last year, she was now wearing jewelry which looked as though it had been in the family for years. Surely she must have located that missing treasure finally. He was determined to look in her house and find the rest of her money and treasure. That night he appeared at Kaveri's house and said to her husband, I am a traveler and don't have a place to spend the night. Please give me shelter for the night. Kaveri's husband agreed immediately. Kaveri, however, glimpsed the man from inside the house and saw through his disguise. She knew he must be planning some robbery, so she said in a loud voice, making sure the visitor heard her, oh dear, your dear aunt is all alone at night, and he asked us to come stay with her. You know how the dark scares her when I'm turning the page. Your uncle is not there, come, let us go there for the night. Then, lowering her voice a bit, yet making sure she was heard clearly, she continued, don't worry about the jewels. I've hidden them in little holes in the house walls. No one will suspect the hiding spot. Then she came out and in her normal voice told the thief, brother, you can sleep in the veranda. The house will be locked. Here is some food and water for you. We will come tomorrow morning. The thief smiled to himself at Kaveri's foolishness. So, um, this lesson is quite a big lesson. So, we'll just end it over here. And I'll again continue with this lesson on Monday. And so, please go through this lesson along with me. It's quite interesting. So, I just want to leave it here only so that you'll have that thrill to know what happens next. So please read along with me, do your journaling. Please go through my videos every day, and definitely one day you will be very fluent in English. Thank you so much. Have a nice weekend.